Princess Wishes was the second Disney on Ice show I ever saw when I thought it was my first. That's how good it is, but it's not as good as its predecessor Princess Classics. The set, yes I can admit, takes a lot of notes from Jungle Adventures, but it's different enough to work. It's such a good show and I'm surprised it's still running to this day. Like, in all seriousness, I'm surprised that it's still running because modern Disney on Ice shows have Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy. But guess what, this show doesn't have Donald. And he wasn't even in Princess Classics, so I guess princesses have a thing against Donald. But they don't mind him in the other shows and he was included in Dare to Dream, so I guess that's fair. Speaking of mice, I think their role in the show is much smaller compared to Princess Classics, where they had a whole subplot with Mickey asking Minnie to be his princess. In this show they explained to the audience about how dreams and wishes can come true. Tinkerbell helps out with a majority of the transitions. And hey, I really thought Tinkerbell's role was okay in the show, and I didn't mind her inclusion. But the updated show has a lot more Mickey and Minnie, which is better. For this show, I think the show did a good job switching up the segments a little bit, considering that every story has different scenes. Like in Princess Classics, it's Prince Ali, and in Princess Wishes it's one jump ahead. For Princess Classics it includes Beast, and in Princess Wishes it's just Belle and Lumiere. And this time, Cinderella doesn't get the extremely long segment, but instead the Little Mermaid. But I want to consider, is there anything the show does better than Princess Classics? It's a bit more fun. That's for sure. Princess Classics had its fun moments, but this show had a ton more fun moments, like Under the Sea, Lesson Number 1, Be Our Guest, and the Seven Dwarfs singing the full version of Hi Ho. And in terms of technicality, it's pretty much the same as Princess Classics. The lifting plants, the Maleficent dragon, and even the road system Aladdin and Prince Eric Dawn. That's epic. And now it's time for me to talk about the individual show segments and rank them out of 10. At number 7 is Beauty and the Beast. I feel like this segment is okay, but everyone is complaining about how short it is. I think it's a fine change in pace of the Beauty and the Beast segments in Disney on Ice, since it's usually something there or Beauty and the Beast. But it's still pretty short. Probably a 6 out of 10 in my book. At number 6 is Cinderella. It's just the prince trying to find a date and then seeing Cinderella. I thought Anastasia and Drusilla tried too hard to be funny in this segment, like without Lady Tremaine, there's no control to the chaos. But nonetheless it's still a fine segment. 7 out of 10. At number 5 is The Little Mermaid. While yes, I do appreciate that its story is one of the main focuses of the show instead of a long Cinderella again, it's been done a lot in other shows. Even shows I didn't see like Passport to Adventure and 3D. But still a good segment, around an 8 out of 10. At number 4 is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It includes new dialogue between the prince and Snow White instead of just recycling. And I love the dwarves arguing over a dandelion. I feel like this segment was from the Pocahontas and Hercules updates that added Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. Overall pretty good, 7 out of 10. At number 3 is Mulan 2. Man, I love direct-to-video sequels, better than the live-action remakes, to be perfectly honest. And I'm glad Disney on Ice dipped their skates into direct-to-video territory at least twice. While I didn't recognize it as a kid, I think it's nice to see Disney use their more obscure content in shows, even if it's for a story well known like Mulan. I think this segment is fun and is an 8 out of 10. At number 2 is Aladdin. I think this is an equally as fun segment as the Princess Classics segment. Friend Like Me is the lowest part, but I think the rest of the segment does have a lot of bright spots, including the phenomenal one jump ahead performance. I give this segment a 9 out of 10. And ranking in at number 1 is Sleeping Beauty. The three good fairies were amazing in the segment and provided aid to the brave prince in a way that is well done. And man, the Maleficent dragon is so impressive. It's North Smoke and Breeze Fire. This is probably the best set piece Disney on Ice has ever made for a character. And the show ranks at an 8 out of 10. It's a lot of fun, but not as technically impressive as its predecessor. But hey, if this show ever comes back, check it out. You won't regret it.